So really, like being what you are is seen by the mental process as something that you do. So what's looking is being what you are, but the head says it's me looking for. That's casting what we are into something we're doing. Yeah? Yeah? What we are is what's looking, but when the mental reaction occurs, it's cast into you looking for. So the what's looking, which is what we are, is made to be a verb that you as the noun is doing. So what's looking gets forgotten because it's now become the verb I'm doing as the noun. So I become the premier. Yes? Subject. And then the act of subjectivity is seen as a verb I'm doing. I'm being conscious, which is not the fact. Yeah. So it's a tricky little thing, yeah? So what's looking is what you are looking for. So the what's looking is interpreted by our head as you looking for. That's why we can't see it. Yeah? So we're running around looking for what's looking, but it's hiding right where the mind's saying you are looking for. Yeah? So as you're seeking what's looking, that's why they say the seeker is the sought. Yeah? What you're seeking is the sought. Yeah? Well, what is it? The sought is what is the seeker. Something else, some crazy thing. But you are what you're looking for. It's simple as that. But if looking for is the subject, and the mind has presented you as the subject, then the looking can't be seen as the subject. It can only be seen as something you do. So seeing becomes you looking. That's not it. Yeah? That's an interpretation of the seeing. Seeing becomes you looking. So it's hidden in the act of the seeing being claimed by the mind and is cast into a verb that the you is doing. So seeing is what's so, and the mental interpretation is you looking. You are looking. No, that's not it. That's why it's hard to see that what's looking is what you're looking for. Yeah.
What's responsible for identification? Why is there?
I don't know why. I wouldn't go there. That's a long, dark tunnel. It may not come back with anything. Let's just recognize that it seems to be happening.
It's obvious that identification is what's making a human being suffering, right?
Yes.
So,
But pain happens here, but suffering, yeah. Pain happens as an experience, yes. Appearances can hurt appearances. Yeah.
I just see myself often in that point of frustration when identification takes place.
Yeah.
Because I can see the suffering right away.
Yeah.
Right. So, and there is nothing one can do because when it happens, and that's it. And
Yes,
you are
right.
in it, and you are the me. Right.
Yes, but the
And
seeing of it,
there is the seeing.
yes, the seeing of it, if you can get a sense of, the seeing is like the raw, whatever, and the interpretation is, it becomes like a synthetic product, yes? If you can get a sense of every time you and all the engagements as you and with you are always being seen, though, yeah? So the seeing is illuminating the whole act of being you. Yeah. So, in other words, seeing precedes any time you appear. When you arise as a you, what's the context of that arising is the seeing. And after a while you can get a sense of that. And so here most of our attention immediately comes alive and is emphasizing as soon as the you shows up. And it doesn't emphasize what's prior to the you showing up. Yeah? So our attention and interest is in the selfing. And so we don't have much attention and interest in what's prior to the selfing. But there is something prior to the selfing, and you can get it can intimate after a while to you. And
but does it happen naturally? Because does it happen naturally? Because it's not something one can choose.
No, it's something. All they can do is entertain you're not that, which is arising. Yeah? In other words, for me, it's all about what I'm not. I can see what I'm not. I can learn about what I'm not. because it's an appearance. Yeah, I can see it. I can understand something about it, which is I'm not that. I can't know what I am, because what I am is knowing. It's not an object. It's not a thing. I can't know it. Yes? But how I know it is by knowing. Seeing. And in that knowing, by seeing, I can see what I'm not. Yeah? Yeah. And to me, that's the feeling of what I am. I see what I'm not. In other words, I see Paul every day. Yeah? And that, therefore, I'm not Paul. What I am is what I can't see. See, it's a weird way, but I really like it. Because then, reinforcement is all the time. Because all day I'm seeing Paul and the machinations of Paul, the selfing. And therefore, all it takes is the seeing of it to not be it. Yeah? Because I can't see what I am. So the whole way I've known here is by seeing something, yeah? By seeing it, by thinking about it, or having an experience of it, yes? But you don't know what you are by that modality. You know it by not seeing it, by not feeling it, by not tasting it, by not touching it. Yeah? So everything you can see, feel, taste, and touch and see, I'm not that. That's the act of being what you are. Yeah? Oh, it's very sweet to me. Because there's nowhere else to go. I'm not that, and that's that.
But you're saying you are not that, but at the same time it arises here. So you are that.
Well, at this level, it's best just to keep you can say, yes, I am that, but then that's getting into, to me, it's just simpler to say, I'm not that, yes? I'm not an appearance. Of course, all appearances are that, because all there is that, yes? But I take it, but the appearance is not that. Yes. See? That is the appearance, but the appearance is not that. So I take it that view, whatever's appearing, I'm not. Yeah? And so therefore, every second of every day I have the reminder, because I'm seeing things, yes, and I'm thinking I'm seeing things from this, but I'm not this. If I can see this, I cannot possibly be it, yes? If I can see the thoughts that I call me, I cannot possibly be those thoughts, because I'm seeing them. What is it that's seeing them? I would say that's what I am. And I can't know what's seeing them. All I can know is the seeing. The act of seeing. Yeah? It's weird. It's like, all right, I know you by shaking your hand. Yeah? But I can't do that with that. I can't know it the way this apparatus is built to know things. I cannot know what I am by all the techniques this apparatus has to know things. Yeah? I can't. That's the message. You exhaust your reliance on this because it cannot know what you are. It's impossible. It can't. It will never know it. You are, as this, is never going to have an experience of what you are. It's impossible. You'd have to be something to experience what you are. But you're not. You're an appearance. How can an appearance ever see what it is? It can't. That's the beauty of it. That's, to me, is like the backdoor approach. I'm not that. I don't want descriptions of what I am. Because what's going to be entertaining those descriptions is what I'm not. All I want to do is see what I'm not, and that's that. The day goes along, and whatever happens, happens. But there's an awareness, that sense, it's like a scent or a perfume. There's a presence, yeah? And my mind has been disengaged by trying to know it. It's given up trying to know it. It's exhausted. It realized there's no fucking way. And any time it wants to appear as an authentic self, there's never an end. Yeah? There's no Paul. I've watched it. It will keep arising and saying, all right, this is me. But there isn't one. Exactly. So then seeing stops being turned into a way of looking, yeah, which is called self-centeredness. Most of us are riding the back of seeing, and the mind's interpreting it as a form of looking called self-centeredness. But it's all brought to us by seeing. All there is seeing. But the mind is interpreting seeing as I'm looking. Yes? That's what's seen through. You see it. Jesus Christ. So I is not an object. Yes? The mind has given an object the name of I, but I is not an object. I is subject. Subject cannot be seen by an object. It's all subject. So I can't know myself. Hallelujah. Because if I could know myself, I could unknow myself, probably, by forgetting something. This isn't about knowing anything. It's about recognizing I'm not that. And then it becomes obvious you've only been seeing all this freaking time. There's never been a break, and there's never going to be a break. All there is seeing. It didn't start when I was born. It ain't going to end when I die, is this? Yeah? This is just an appearance that's being seen. Yeah. Just like I'm seeing you as an appearance, I would imagine I seeing this as an appearance. When it looks at this room, it's not just looking at 7, 8 people, it's looking at 9 bodies. This body also. But the head mental process says, no, I start here. No. There. Yeah. You think, sometimes we think we're like the camera and we're the lens. But the lens is behind us. We're in the camera picture. Something is witnessing us like we see you. Yeah, like this thing thinks it sees you. There's something that's seeing us. Yeah? How could it not? It sees everything that arises. You and I have arisen. Yes? We're an appearance. It's seeing. But the mental process says, no, it starts here. I'm seeing. That's all. No. I don't know what that is. I stop right here. This is the end of me. Right there. Right here. This is what's seeing. Give me a break. I mean, it's pretty far-fetched. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it's hilarious. And then you think your eye's seeing. But if your body died and you took the eye out of your head and put in a live body, it would see through the live body. But it ain't never seeing through your body anymore. Because what was seeing left, in a sense. Didn't leave, but it's disengaged. Yes? Consciousness has left the body. And therefore, there's no seeing. No matter how great your eyes are, no matter how wide open they are, no seeing is happening. There's no conscious contact through the body. So it's not the body that's in conscious contact, it's what's seeing through the body that's in conscious contact. I would say we are that, not this. But how to be that is to realize you're not this, that's all. As soon as you realize you're not this, that's being that. That's seeing. It's being, we're used to being a noun, yeah, but it's being verb. We're a verb. We're verbing. It's sort of like, we're like the water in a river, yes? The name we give to some moving water we call a river, yes? But the actual act of the river is verbing. Rivering. It's just water moving. We're like that. The mind only gives something that's a verb, a name called a river. It tries to make it a noun. But basically all we are is verbing, and that's how you get to know yourself, is by the verb of conscious contact.
So if all there is consciousness, and we're a part of it, right?
Not a part of it. We are that.
Okay, then we are that. Okay,
Yeah.
so like rainwater is part of the ocean. And this is all an illusion. Everything that we, quote, see, unquote, is an illusion. And I'm using the we loosely because...
Yeah.
Okay. And if everybody knew, wouldn't apathy reign supreme?
What?
If everybody knew that, wouldn't apathy reign supreme? I mean, could you like it out of bed?
Well, I don't think you'll have to worry about everyone knowing it. Don't worry about it. It doesn't look like it's going in that direction. I think it's whatever's dreaming doesn't look like it's waking up right away. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. don't know what's happening. I don't really care. You're just on, and then you won't be as this. And then, but I don't. That's when the story of Paul ends in the body. There's no story of Paul leaving the body and going somewhere else. That's my hit of it. I've died a couple of times, drug-induced and not drug-induced. When this thing appears again, all that's forgotten. And I would imagine when you're going from here, all this is forgotten. Yes? When I rebooted up, there was no sense of, it was just like Paul stopped, and I was dead for a while, and they brought me back alive, and then the movie jacked up again, and it was gone. Yeah? Whatever that was, when I wasn't here, being this Paul has no memory of that. So I would imagine, if this case is when you're really obsessed with I here, everywhere doesn't seem to be so, I would imagine the same thing. When everywhere is that, this doesn't appear to be so at all. There's no memory of it. There's nothing like that. It's like it never happened. Hallelujah in a way. Have you ever had that feeling? Have you ever had a real moment, one of those blissful moments where it seemed to erase all the other years and thoughts and everything that ever happened to you? It was like your whole life was like just a linear set of chalkboards that your mind had written on, and yet one moment of clarity, it was all erased instantaneously, so it must have never been there. It doesn't take any bit of time to erase all of this. Like that, it's forgotten in a nanosecond. If something was real, it would take time to get rid of. It doesn't. It's just, it was appearing to be real. Suddenly something happens for maybe just a moment, and it appears not to be real anymore. And there's no sense of it ever being real. It was never real and then disappeared. It was just never real. Yeah, it's just a very strong hit. It's not so. Can have a very strong impact on your head. If you can watch before the head, because the head as selfing will arise and claim it as a spiritual experience. If you have the understanding of that, you'll see it. Yeah, that's what happened with me. For years I didn't have that understanding. I didn't see it. I didn't know that every time there was these great revelations, my head in selfing claimed them as something that happened to it, which would just, you would think it was a giant Grand Canyon. It made it a little speed bump. It just claimed it and just went right on doing its yapping. Now it started taking itself to be spiritual, which is fucking worse than anything else. And then I heard, and more just entertaining it, I saw one of the dilemmas here is people, they hear the message, you're a lion, you're a lion, you're a lion, you're a lion. But when it hits their ear, it turns into, I can become like a lion. That's not the message. That's selfing, taking it and making it into something it's going to do. Yeah? The message is, you're a lion, you're a lion, you're a lion. And everyone's, yeah, I really love this message of being a lion. But the translation isn't, I'm a lion, it's, I can become like a lion, which verifies the lie that you're a sheep. That's one of the dilemmas. I didn't see that for years. And then I got it. It hit me. And that's what I do here a lot, is I'm attempting to be like an ear doctor and point out to you, this is what happens. Selfing will arise and claim an event of its absence. Life has displayed its absence in your life, and the selfing will arise and claim it as an experience it had. That's what it does. It claims everything. Or as Trungpa Rinpoche used to say, whatever the ego comes in contact with, it will take advantage of. That's what it does. It attempts to get an identity by claiming everything. So if there's enough spiritual experience, spiritual events it claims, you'll become a spiritual person in its view. Yes? You'll change, you'll start wearing white and, talking softly and becoming vegan or whatever, and all these other things that you think have something to do with spirituality. It's all mental concepts. The mind's just adapting to its new thing it's gotten in touch with, its own absence. And it just claims it and makes a spiritual dress it wears. Yeah.
Doesn't just the idea of saying, yeah, okay, you're not that I, you're not that self, and you're the I behind the self, and just saying, if that's it, just know it, there it is. Doesn't that fall into the realm of like self-knowledge is our know it. Okay, so now we're good.
Oh, see, the thing is, I'm trying to point out the second thing, which is it's not knowing it that way. This is just something to entertain. But the second thing is if the self then claims this knowledge, yeah, about itself, that becomes self-knowledge.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm perceiving how people hear it, right?
Yes.
So because they're trying to understand it as a mental construct, that they can place their self behind the glass.
That's right. That's one of the dilemmas. That's what we're trying to point out.
Okay, I'm holding it. Oh shit, I lost it.
That's right. We're trying to point that out. We're trying to point that out and say that arising is assuming it's you.
Sure.
And then you see it as I'm not that. And every time it appears, it's always trying to put itself behind the camera instead of in front of the camera. But you saw it. You saw it arise in front of the camera. Its statement is that it's behind the camera. After a while, you get the hit that I saw it first, though. I see it, and when I see it, it says it's behind the camera. But I saw it. Yeah? So after a few times, it may hit you. Oh, wait a minute. It's always going to do that. It's always going to say, no matter how far the camera gets drawn back and sees things as not it, it will, when the mind arises, it will try to place itself behind the camera as the one that's seeing it. That's an understanding that works, because you don't think of that, you can let it hit you, and then see how it translates in your view during the week. Yes? This is the whole point. These are like little seeds. They're seeds that your interest and attention sort of like allow to kernel, yes, and then something occurs. Yeah? Maybe in one situation something will arise that you always thought it was happening to you, and then you'll see the thing that's arising and the sense that it's happening to you is the same arising. Yeah? So you used to recognize, oh, that's happening, but you didn't see that this part was part of the arising, that it was happening to you. So, okay, now the lens is getting bigger. This is what happens. And then more and more is seen to be in front of the camera. Yeah? So even the idea of the camera, you being the one looking through it, gets caught in the camera. Yeah. This whole mental idea gets thrust in the front, and you have a moment and whoa. It's like a Zen bitch slap. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then it will try to get behind that again. Yes? And it will just keep trying to walk behind the camera and claim the seeing and the revelation and the realization and think, I'm the one. No, that's also appearing in front of the camera. So, after a few, maybe 1, maybe 20 times, a principle is involved there. The mind will always cast itself behind the camera. The conditioned mind, it's always going to state the fact that it's seeing. Yeah? Maybe you'll need 80 events, maybe you need 1. But the fact is, the principle is, it's always going to arise as if it's seeing through the camera, instead of being in front of the camera, being seen.
Well, yeah? my point in making the statement being that if the removal of the bondage is an act of grace, meaning that can't be accomplished by the mind, right?
Yes. So
then what's the purpose of the practice?
There isn't a practice. It's just entertaining something. If all you are is seeing, then seeing isn't practice. If all you are is seeing, then seeing isn't practice. It's just the awareness of what you always are, which is seeing. It's not a practice, because it's always seeing. It's not a point where it stops and then goes out and practices seeing. It's always seeing. That's what it is. It's awareness. Yeah? So there's no break when it takes a breather from seeing, because its nature is seeing. So it's not a practice, it's just a recognition that that's the nature that I am. I am which sees. I can't see it, but I am which sees. Yeah? And this intimates something. I don't know how else to put it. But it's almost like you get drenched in the water you've always been in. But you now sense you're drenched. Yeah? You've always been wet, but now there's a sense that you're wet, which allows you to travel lighter. Here. seemingly here. Yes? You don't need to know the truth in the truth. That's all there is. It's nice to know the truth where it cannot be known, which is in this place of appearances. A lot of people are living as if the truth is not known to them. Aren't they? Yes. Yeah.
Is that because the truth is not known to them?
Exactly. The truth is there, but the truth is not known to them. Because even when they're studying the truth, they're studying it as a self.
Oh shit, I lost it.
Exactly. And that's selfing. Because you never had it to lose it. Yeah, that's beautiful. So that's why I like these talks in a way, because by sharing understandings, maybe you'll see in a new way what you've been seeing all along. And that's all that's happening, yeah? We're just sort of throwing in some ideas, and it's because your mind can entertain. Unbelievable. The only thing that inhibits it is if it's not introduced to what it can entertain. So we're attempting just to introduce our minds to some, let's say, ideas that it may not come up with itself, yeah? So we're sharing it just like it was shared with me. I'm attempting to do it with us, yeah? Because this is how it happened with me. I heard it from someone else, yeah? And my head is, and then I'm trying to, how I've been presenting it over the years is how it traveled in me. I entertained it and wasn't thinking about it, yeah? I introduced the stuff to me. I read some books. I went to see people, and I entertained what I was hearing, yes? And then in the living of it, things started to shift and change and things. And then after years, I realized, geez, traveled a lot lighter over the last 10 years, and there's a sense of something that was never there before. Yes, a sense of presence, and I'm actually not looking for satisfaction because I'm sort of satisfied. Yes, I'm sort of okay with the way things are. So I don't really care if they change or not. Yeah. So, and things like that. And after a while, it verified itself by the traveling it, and so then I just became my seed assignment, I've been sharing about it, and that's all that happens. And that's my story, I'm sticking to it.